Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Unemployment phone lines in every state in the country are swamped and websites are crashing. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum says the state is among those having issues. Valley News Team's Joshua Pagaro helps you navigate an overwhelmed unemployment system.
North Dakota has not escaped the wrath of the coronavirus pandemic. The state has been seeing a surge in unemployment filings. Governor Doug Burgum says more than 28,000 have submitted claims in the past 2 weeks, 7,000 more than all of last year's total.
There has to be legitimate reasons that you are not, you're no longer employed or your hours have been significantly cut, those kinds of things to, qualify for unemployment insurance.
That strain is impacting the state's job service office. They have already reshuffled employees, but Carrie Fry of the Fargo Workforce Center says they expect to see the number of filings to rise.
They recommend the fastest way to file a claim is to do it online and do it immediately after you're laid off.
Be completely honest and provide all information asked of you.
Fry says while at first it was those in the restaurant and hospitality industry applying for unemployment, they're getting more people from the manufacturing sector. Soon, those who are self-employed or file a 1099 will be able to get unemployment as well.
They shouldn't rush right out to apply for unemployment insurance because the system is not ready to handle those claims yet. And I think that's where a lot of frustration is coming in.
The new federal program signed by President Donald Trump last week in the $2.2 trillion stimulus bill will take weeks before they're implemented in North Dakota.
Calling in to ask that question like, when is it going to happen? What do I need to do to make sure that I get that? Those are questions that, you're really not going to get an answer to now.
The state says the holdup is guidance from the Department of Labor. In Fargo, Joshua Pagaro, Valley News Live.
And late this afternoon, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum announcing that the one-week waiting period for those waiting for unemployment benefits has been waived. The governor says the move was in part to save the state money and get help to those who need it faster.
Waiving the waiting week does not increase the amount of money that any individual is eligible to receive. It just helps get those payments to someone sooner. So if you're eligible, if you qualify, you've got an opportunity to not have to wait a week before you get our check.
The governor also announced that the mandatory closure of restaurants, bars, gyms, movie theaters, and personal care businesses will be extended through at least April 20th. Meanwhile, North Dakota has 21 new positive coronavirus cases as of today, bringing the state total of positive cases to 147. There have been 3 deaths. 26 patients remain in the hospital. 39 people are listed as recovered. We've been getting calls and questions today about a story that's been circulating online. It is a bogus story that includes the VNL logo. The fake news says that all students in North Dakota must repeat the grade that they are in next year. Again, the article is bogus. For trusted stories, head to our website, valleynewslive.com. Over in Minnesota, the total number of positive cases now stands at 689. That's an increase of 60 from yesterday. There have been 17 deaths, 54 patients remain hospitalized, 27 of those in the intensive care unit. The Minnesota Department of Health is reporting 342 patients no longer need to be isolated. West Fargo's police chief is returning to the FBI as a special agent. Keith Yankee will resign his position in West Fargo. Yankee was appointed chief in July of 2017. During his tenure, West Fargo was named the safest city in North Dakota each year. His resignation will take effect April 24th. Assistant Chief Jerry Boyer will be named the interim chief. The city says a nationwide search will be conducted to find a new chief of police. A man has been arrested after being accused of coughing on someone in a store. Police say it happened at the Cashwise off of 34th Street this afternoon, with a man coughing on people intentionally and claiming to be infected with the coronavirus. He was arrested after refusing to identify himself. And on his way to jail, officers say the man threatened the life of an officer and is now facing charges of disorderly conduct and making terroristic threats. Enjoy this calm before the storm, as conditions are expected to worsen as we ramp up into tomorrow's first alert storm day. Let's throw it over to Hutch for the very latest on what we'll be dealing with and how soon. Hutch?
Thank you very much, Mike. As we have talked about this storm the last couple of days, we're starting to see clouds here, but our neighbors to the west already getting snow. We're expecting snowfall as we take a look at some of the impacts of 5 to 10 inches for many. I still think we could see isolated amounts up to a foot in our northern counties. As we take a look, it's going to be the wet, heavy snow. It's going to reduce visibility while it's falling. And for some of us, we have this technical thing going on here where we have temperatures that are warm enough for rain, and there will be areas of freezing rain. Now, that'll make for very slippery conditions along with the accumulating snow. You do not want to slide off of a road surface into a ditch that is filled with water. That can be deadly. Rain developing here in the Red River Valley, some of it moderate to heavy. That changes to sleet and snow, and out near Botno and the Turtle Hills, 6 inches reported already as we get started. So as we go into the morning, more and more of us will be seeing that mixed precipitation that you see here. Hour by hour details coming here in just a minute, but tomorrow is a first alert weather day, Mike Morkin, and we'll have the latest on what you can expect in your hometown here in a second.
All right, thanks so much, Hutch. A section of Minnesota State Highway near Ada, Minnesota, which is Highway 9, now stands closed because of flooding. The section is just south of Ada. Authorities want to remind drivers it is illegal to travel on a closed road, and those violating the closure can be fined up to $1,000 and could spend 90 days in jail. All access points have been closed in Grand Forks to the Red River. The river levels surpassed 30 feet this morning, and with continued river levels, existing ice jams and debris, the river has been deemed to be unsafe. Driving around a barricade or entering a posted road closed could result in a $250 fine. Authorities remind you to not drive through water on roadways. Meanwhile, the Sorley Bridge on Demers Avenue has also been closed because of Red River flooding. An NDSU student is facing multiple charges after an undercover sexting operation in Connecticut. Authorities say 33-year-old Christopher Brereton drove from Fargo to New Haven, Connecticut, with the intent of engaging in sexual activity with a 15-year-old girl. Police say that the investigation started in January when family members saw one of the conversations between the two. Undercover agents set up a meeting with him, and he was arrested upon arrival in Connecticut. He is in jail on $200,000 bond. Court documents filed today shed gruesome details on a murder in Perham, Minnesota, Monday night. 40-year-old Derek Sweary stands charged with second-degree murder, as well as felony possession of a firearm. Police in Perham were called to the 600 block of First Avenue South just after 10 p.m. Monday night for what was described as a disturbance. Authorities say Sweary told them he noticed a .22 caliber gun missing from his bedroom. Documents also say that Sweary later caught his roommate, Brandon Snyder, holding his gun. When Sweary confronted Snyder, he said Snyder would not give the gun back, and the two started fighting. Sweary told officers that during the fight, he grabbed a folding knife and stabbed Snyder in both eyes. Despite Snyder no longer fighting back, Sweary stated he went to get his gun and shot Snyder 15 times. Authorities say Sweary then turned all the lights on, opened the blinds, cleaned up the kitchen of clutter, and contacted authorities. If convicted, Sweary faces up to 55 years in prison. The West Fargo Mall will remain closed through April. The mall initially closed March 19th for the remainder of that month, but after evaluating the ongoing coronavirus situation, has decided to close through April 30th. The pandemic has shut down classrooms around the nation, including the ones in Fargo and West Fargo. Today, those students logged into their virtual classrooms for the first time. Parents are stressing the importance of keeping things simple and making a routine as soon as possible.
It is kind of more difficult, I guess, than I thought it was going to be. Don't make it so like school, because you're never going to be able to actually replicate that type of environment.
Fargo Public Schools says the long-distance learning plan is set up with the teacher adding that they have options for those who don't have technology. The school district says there's a bill in the North Dakota Senate to provide funding for low-income or rural people that don't have access to technology so they can get it. Essentia Hospital is asking for your help in collecting donations for healthcare professionals. A drop-off location has been set up at its South University Clinic. People should pull up to the valet parking loop and stay in their cars. You can leave food, but Essentia says what it really needs are masks, gloves, eye protection, and gowns, equipment that will protect employees during the fight against COVID-19.
It's really hard to know if we're going to have enough to get through the surge that could be coming. And so we are asking the community to help us bring donated items to us so we can make sure we have everything we need.
You can drop off your items every Wednesday and Thursday from 10 until 2 o'clock at the South University Clinic until the end of this month.